Passengers on the doomed Bayesian Superyacht scrambled desperately for the last remaining air pockets as the vessel sank to the seabed, investigators believe. But while 5 of the victims' bodies were recovered from one cabin, the youngest, 18-year-old Hannah Lynch, was found alone in a bedroom 2 doors away. It emerged yesterday. The horrific last moments aboard the sinking £30 million ship were pieced together at a crowded 90-minute press conference yesterday, SAT, hosted by the prosecutors, who have launched a manslaughter and shipwreck investigation without specifying suspects. Emergency service personnel and divers also spoke in detail for the first time of the incredibly complex 5-day-long rescue mission 160 feet below the Sea of Porticello in Sicily, which turned all too quickly to one of recovering the dead. Divers from the Specialist Fire Brigade Cave Rescue Team gave a gripping account of the peculiar difficulties they faced more than 50 meters below the surface, with the boat on its side, full of floating debris and mirrors reflecting their head torches back at them. Stellar student Hannah, about to start a course at Oxford University, had been on board the ship with her father Mike and mother Angela, accompanied by lawyers and friends of the tycoon to celebrate his acquittal on fraud and conspiracy charges in the US in June after a long legal battle. Mrs. Lynch survived the accident, along with 14 other people, including the boat's captain, New Zealander James Cutfield, 51, and 8 of his crew, when the ship sank in the early hours of Monday. Bentivoglio Fiandra, chief of Palermo's fire brigade and part of the divers' rescue team, explained that the Bayesian sank stern first and then rolled onto its right side. As a result, the victims sought refuge on the left side of the boat, where the last air pockets remained as the vessel was sinking, he said. The divers found 5 bodies in the first cabin on the left and 1, Hannah's, in the third cabin on the left. It was clear that the discovery of Hannah's body on Friday was a distressing moment for the fire brigade divers who brought her back to shore and gently passed her up to colleagues on the dock. Chief Prosecutor for the District of Termini Imerese, Ambrogio Cartosio, leading the investigation, confirmed that Hannah's body was recovered on Friday, adding Hannah Lynch was recovered on August 23, which deeply moved the rescue team, prompting a spontaneous round of applause. Asked about the applause when the news came back to shore that her body had finally been located and recovered, Inspector Vincenzo Nardoni, a diver drafted in from the fire brigade's unit in Naples, said, "It was an emotional liberation, a relief of stress. Because stress is our daily bread. We work on call and in emergencies, and we intervene immediately. So stress is our baggage, is what we bring with us." He said the divers had to recalibrate to adjust to everything being on its side in the boat. "We had to revise the scene from a different angle from the way we'd normally see it, and that made everything more difficult. We entered the confined spaces, having already performed evaluations on the safe point to enter inside the yacht. We found the safest spot and got inside from there. But inside it was a very confusing place, with wardrobes and furniture whirling all around us, and lots of mirrors reflecting back our lights at us. The bodies were all wedged in tight spots, with furniture on top or beside them. They were all stuck there. The 30 divers were limited to 12-minute spells at the seabed on a continuous cycle from dawn until dusk. Some of the divers were also involved in the 2012 recovery of the sunken Costa Concordia liner. Giuseppe Frisson, head of the Department of the Firefighters Divers, leading the cave divers, told the Mail, "Let's say that this event has brought back some memories, having done nearly 50 dives on the Concordia incident. Inside the cabin, it revived the same sensations. But in terms of scale, everything was very different. Plus, this dive was so much deeper, so we had to severely restrict our time at depth. It felt a little like we're running the movie in our heads, but it was more intense. It was like visiting someone's house turned at 90 degrees with everything on its side. Since everything was revolving around us, we had to proceed slowly, first securing floating items for safety. We operated methodically, whether the spaces were large or small, searching everywhere until we found what we were looking for." He added, "We were in a room full of debris, with a mixture of wooden furniture and other objects, but there was this new factor, as the space was full of mirrors, making it very disorientating. As you enter with the light on our heads, you seem to see yourself coming toward the boat, so it was very confusing."